Hello guys and welcome to GA Flying. Today we are in Australia and we will be checking out the newest patch for the Black Square Caravan, so the 1.1 patch that is fixing lots and lots of issues that people had a problem with, including the sounds. So in a second we will take a look at all of the points of the update, but this is not all. I wanted to show you some additional stuff. So one of the mods that I will be showcasing is, for example, this livery that you are looking at now. And you can get it from FlightSim.to, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's the only one that is available that is like yellow. And lately I do like the color. Okay, so the link to this livery will be also included in the description. But this is not all. Maybe you can see it, maybe not, but we do have some passengers inside. And getting passengers, to get passengers, you also need an additional mod. It also comes from FlightSim.to. And I will also provide the link in the description. Okay, the only limitation of this mod is that it's maximum 5 people and that you need to use this standard UI from the EFB from 2024. Okay, so at least for me, it doesn't work when you load people with the EFB from the plane, right? So you need to use this one. Okay, when it comes to other stuff, there is also one additional mod that I want to show you. If you have seen my prior videos, to rate my landings, I was using the landing rate monitor, and I have shown like in some of the videos. But now there is a newer mod that seems much better, that seems much more feature rich. Okay, and we'll be testing it today. And I can also show it to you already. So it's called TouchdownFX. Okay, as you can see, I have already used it in my prior flights. So some stuff that I have flown here. It's totally free, also available from FlightSim.to, and I will also provide a link in the description. Okay, so why do I think that it's better than landing rate monitor? Okay, so first, it does save everything in a very convenient way. Here you can see, right? Also, it shows you the crab angle, which is something that I always have a problem with. Okay, so if you are on the line, right, on the runway, or if you are crabbed when like your wheels impact the runway, then normally this is like a pretty high load for the gears. So this is something that you also want to avoid, right? And this is also being counted by it. And then in the end, it gives you like a score based on all of the data. And it also depends on the plane. So for example, if this would be a GA plane, right, and this is like an airliner, then the score would be much lower, okay? Because it tolerates higher vertical speeds for airliners than it does for GA planes, okay? So lots and lots of stuff, and you can see it here. Also, it remembers the wind when you were like trying to land, so you can see if there was like a high crosswind that made it more difficult. You can see the pitch, the bank, pretty much everything. Okay, so really, really nice. And this is only part of what it does, because it can also run a replay of your landing. Okay, so this is something that I will sadly not show you because I have a second replay mod that I'm using for all of my flights, and I'm afraid there would be some conflicts, right? But normally it does record like the moments close to the landing, and you can just replay them without using any additional replay tools. So all in one, really great. And as I said, it's pretty new, so many people don't know about it yet, but you now know. Okay, so feel free to test it out. As I said, totally free, and I'm not connected to the author of it, obviously. One additional tip that I can give you is that it can install like an additional plugin into the sim that will show you all of the data when you're landing, so a pop-up here. But for it to work, you have to use this option here. And for me, when clicking panel, it was not correctly installing the plugin. So what I have to do was not so obvious. So first I had to hover over panel, and then it tells you that shift click to change folder. Okay, so I had to shift and click on this one, show him my community folder, and then it has installed correctly. Okay, so just so you know. That saying, the pop-up is pretty big and distracting, so I'm not sure if this is something that I will want to keep, okay, because it suddenly appears when you're landing and still trying to gain control over the plane. So I'm not a big fan, still we will take a look today. And you can also totally use it without this pop-up. This is how I was using it for all of those flights, right? So then you just have the results, well, in your taskbar, right? So also pretty cool. Okay, with this, let's prepare the flight. Okay, a lot of stuff to do. It's kind of sad that we have no visible baggage like in the Kodiak. Okay. Still, let's make sure we will be ready. And in a second, I will show you where we will be flying. But first, let's secure everything. Okay. And I will also talk about the airports that we will be using, because I think this is also interesting. Okay. Okay, and before we get in, I can show you the map of what we will be doing today. So we will be flying between two pretty cool custom airports that are free in the sim. Okay, so we will be flying from Mount Beauty to Shell Harbour, and Shell Harbour has an amazing approach, right? Especially this approach here is just very, very interesting and beautiful, and the airport is also really interesting. That saying, up until today, I was always flying it with planes equipped with Garmin 1000, so it was nicely doing this GPS approach. I'm not sure how what is it called, the Grand Caravan is doing GPS approaches, okay? If it will be automatic or if we will have to do it by hand, but we will see. Okay, let me make sure everything is ready here. And with this, can I just click here? Oh, nice. Okay. Still, I cannot click to get in. So let's do it like this. Can I now? I didn't even know that this works. Okay, it's pretty cool. And now the handle for this one. Nice, nice, nice. We can open this up and I can show you the passengers. So another free mod from Flight Sim.to, but as I said, the limitation is a maximum 5 people. Okay. So when it comes to the developer of the plane, Nick, he said that he was considering using the standard system, but he was not happy with the quality of all of the details, right? That there's a lot of small stuff that he thinks is not like perfect enough for his planes. Here you can see also clipping, right? So for now, he's not including them. So this is why this is a mod, right? If you want it, you can just download it. I do want it because normally I don't care that much about passengers, but the Caravan, like as a bus, is looking really strange without any people in the back. Okay, so for this one plane, I really prefer having it. Okay, and as I said, I also wanted to show you the update notes, right, for the update 1.1. So the first point is significant improvements to engine sounds, and this is really great because while the soundscape of everything that is happening in the cockpit was really good, possibly the best in Black Square planes, the engine sound was really weak, and I pretty much had to pull the ventilation because then you could hear the engine better. Okay, so now it's no longer needed. Okay, and they have like improved lots of stuff. So something that we have seen in our prior flight was that the amphibian version was not having any water effects, so now they are there. Okay, today we are not flying with the amphibian version, but I could see that Af Angel, so another like YouTuber, she has done also like a great video with the amphibian version after the update, so you can take a look there at the effects, right? There's like now a second peak when it comes to ATT and NG, so we will take a look at this one. Lots and lots of stuff, right? You can find this those points on the Just Flight support website, for example. Okay, and the condition lever was not working correctly because it should regulate the minimum, and it was regulating the maximum. Okay, and also now after engine start, we no longer have to reset the generator because it will be just on, like in many other planes, and how it's supposed to work like in reality. Okay, so the left turning tendency in the plane was pretty weak, so now it was made stronger, like it should be with this like single propeller. And also some people were experiencing sound conflicts with the P180 from Avanti, so this will be fixed with a P180 update that I think is not live yet. Okay, some people had a problem with the water rudder. It seemed like it was really not effective enough, but this seems like it was a bug that was now fixed, right? So now it should be fine. And this is something that we have seen in the first video, that after landing on the water, one of the floats was like diving deeper into the water than the other one, and we were kind of on the side. So this was also fixed, so this is great. And more stuff, if you want, you can pause the screen now and just take a look. Okay. For me, they were not that important, so like minor stuff. Again, let's start the plane. One thing that we always have to remember here is putting this to idle, something that I always forget in black square planes, because like idle on your hardware is here, which is beta, right? So it needs to be put up a little bit. Okay. And slowly we can prepare everything. Okay, so it needs fuel. Nice. We can already open this one up because we are on grass. We don't want to ingest any trash. Okay, let's seat our passengers. Not this one, this one. So no smoke and seat belts, beacon light. Okay. So here there is a conflict between people. If it's, let me just here, if you need the ignition on or not for engine start. So according to the manual, you don't, and it's working without it. Some like real pilots said that they are putting it on, so I'm not sure. Either way, radios 1, so just the basic radios. Today we are rolling with the PMS because I want to check out if this GPS approach will work or not. Okay, let me take a look. This is fine, everything is open. So ignition stays on norm, starter is ready, fuel boost is on, and this is not needed. Okay, nice. So let's start, and we will take a look for this like secondary peak in ITT that is supposed to be visible. So let's just see if this will really happen. Okay, let's start it. Let's make it stabilize here. Okay, and let's introduce the fuel. Okay, let's look for like a secondary peak. Should come here. Yeah, there was like a small jump here. So I guess this is what they meant. Okay, now we can turn off the starter. Okay, I'm gonna reduce the volume a little bit for you guys. And now we just turn on the standby alternator, but we no longer have to reset the generator, it's just working. So you can take a look, there is load on the generator, right? And we should see close to maximum volts. So this is also showing us that it works. No, now it's really loud. Okay, so let me reduce it a little bit more. So now the fuel boost can come back to norm. Okay, and both avionics on. Okay, nice. And let's prepare the flight plan. I think we have one. Yeah, we have the basic one, so then we will just add the approach once we are close and we will be sure that it will be the correct runway. Okay. This is the free version from the PMS. Actually, I'm having some lags, which is strange because normally on this airport I didn't get any. So maybe this is because we are recording today. We will see. And now I also need the correct barrel, which is 1025. Okay, perfect. Okay, so taxi light is here. We can also prepare nav lights, and the rest is not needed. Let's take a look at the breakers. Actually, I had 2 failures already. In the first flight, it was the strobe light, and in one of the later flights, it was COM2. So I can attest the failures do work. Okay, and let's prepare flaps only to flaps 1, not like in the Kodiak where you go to flaps 2. Right? Well, at least in the standard takeoff setting. Okay, so we will need to remember this one before the takeoff, right? And also the trim, easy to forget. Let's just put it to the takeoff setting. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Well, now it's really loud, and that's kind of strange because I was flying it after the update, and I didn't experience it as so loud as it's like audible now. Interesting. Okay, and here let's change to GPS. And the GPS will probably tell us that it wants us to follow a specific course, right? That we should tune in here, but it doesn't for some reason. Interesting. Okay. But what is the track? Let me just take a look. So this is 042. So let me just do it here. So this is only like for cosmetics, right? And for awareness, because it doesn't have an influence on the operation of the plane, right? And of the navigation. Oh, I know why it's so loud. Obviously. Okay. So now this is what I remember. Okay, makes sense. Let me take a look out. We will have like a slight tailwind, which is not a problem. Better than like taking off in this direction. And I can also show you like this airport. Pretty nice for a free airport. A lot of small detail here. So some kind of courtyard here also looks nice. So one problem that I had is something that I will show you in a second. Nice. Is that the spawn in points are also here. And I did spawn in and like landed partially on the roof, right? So it's probably only for very, very small planes. It was for sure like too small, both for the Kodiak and for the Caravan. Okay, let's reset the view. Let me check the annunciators. So everything seems to be fine. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Seems like we are ready. Let's turn on the fuel boost for the takeoff, and we can start rolling. So those are the new... Oh, I'm not sure if we can turn here, because there is a lot of drag from this grass. Oh, so this is something that I didn't think about. Can we turn? Come on. Okay. And if we go reverse, and we reverse out from here. Okay, it works, nice. Again, I think this is enough. No, now it's fine. Yeah, we are pretty heavy with all of those passengers, and it's also like not a small GA plane, right? So I'm not surprised that it's rolling like this one. Okay, landing lights, strobe lights. Let's not get too fast. I really like those like new trees from 2024, very nice. Yeah, so from what I have read, the nose wheel steering is supposed to be like strange like this. Especially if you want like a higher angle for it. Whoa, I'm also not used to it because before I was like flying the Kodiak from here. What? Is it really so complicated to turn? Let me just... well, it shouldn't be. Come on. Oh, what is happening? Oh. So this is strange because, as I said, I was flying it multiple times after the update, and I don't remember the steering wheel like behaving so strangely. It might be because this is like one of those 2020 airports that are pretty uneven, right? But like I was flying a couple of different like planes from here, and they were not complaining as much as this one, so I'm not sure. Okay, hi idle. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, and let's set up the torque, and we'll be ready. And rotation speed is 65. Okay. Okay, that was nice and easy. Okay, a lot of rudder input needed, and flaps up at 95, so in a second. Okay, now. We have some slight turbulence, but it seems to be fine. Yeah, I need to get used to this one again, because as I said, the last flights were with the Kodiak, and they seem very similar, but they are not, right? So the whole hand flying feeling is totally different, and this one feels much heavier, which makes sense because it is, right? It's longer, you can pack more people into it. Okay, it seems like we are within the limits. Nice. Now I can reduce the torque a little bit because we will want to close the inertial separator to get some more power. More optimized airflow. Okay. And we can get rid of the landing lights. We will see if I will not get any more failures, because I have set it to 5 times like in all of my black square planes, but I think it happens pretty often. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Sadly, I never remember which one of those like light adjuster knobs is giving me instrument lighting. And this is really a strange system with those like double turn knobs. I mean, I know it from some airliners, right? But not really from GA planes. Okay, some beautiful mountains here in Australia. Okay, and we will be joining our GPS track. I think now it's telling me to set up the correct 042. I think this is what we have done already. Yep. Okay, so let's go autopilot. And I think they have also switched it from pitch to VS, if I remember it correctly. Okay. Let's go GPS track. And we can add some power. And so when it comes to the torque settings and RPM torque settings and propeller settings for the cruise, there is like a broad selection of them that you can pretty much use. It depends if you want to go faster or like longer distances, right? Like in many planes. We can reduce it a little bit, but we will need to watch out for the torque because it might spike if we reduce the propellers. Yeah, you could see it here. Lots of traps in turboprop lanes. Okay. And the height is okay now. There will be some mountains along the way. Oh, but it's like the free version, so it doesn't show you the terrain in relation to your altitude, so you cannot mark it red. Now I remember. Okay, but luckily I think it's like 6,000 feet should be more than enough to feel safe here. Okay, let's see if it's not too cold. It's 10 degrees, so we don't really need pitot heat in this case. Okay. So let me now do a review of everything that we have set here. This seems fine, seems fine, seems fine. Nice. Let's take a look at our passengers. Yeah, kind of interested in what's going on. Okay, good enough. Okay, and we can also, we have the radar on already. Yeah. That's strange. Was it not like starting in standby in black square planes? Yeah, I don't remember. And I should. I'm like flying them a lot. Okay, so, okay, we can do an outside view. Take a look at this great custom livery. Let me just get a more cinematic camera mode here. Okay, and the lights being so clearly visible during the day is also one of the improvements on the list. Okay, great. And let's go leader, and let's make it a little bit warmer because it's getting cold. And you can now hear the sound changing. Yeah, so the bleeder sound, or like the bleeder system sound, is also one of the improvements that they have mentioned. Pretty nice. Okay, I guess I need to hide it because otherwise I'm not seeing this. Okay, and let's take a look at Australia. Pretty interesting terrain here. And there will be a part where the terrain will be just amazing, like very dramatic and unique. So I think we will just jump to this moment because it's a pretty long flight, so I won't be keeping you for the whole time. But still, so Australia is one of my last discoveries, because before I was not really flying there, but I did take a look at this map that is showing all of the custom assets. Let me just show it to you. Favorites here. Okay, so this one. And I was surprised that there's so much stuff in Australia that I didn't even know about. Can we see? Yeah, it was World Update 7, so pretty old already, but as you can see, lots and lots of stuff, and I was pretty much never here, or maybe once, like taking a job on FS Economy somewhere in Australia, but I was never, I was never traveling like a bigger part of the country, and it seems like it's pretty great. I mean, the quality is great. There are some custom airports, and while the one where we have started was maybe not like exciting, the other one is like very, very unique and also has, as I said, a beautiful approach that we will try to shoot today. Okay, let me just check the checklist if we didn't forget anything. So climb, pitot heat not needed, propeller lever, as you can see, 1600 to 1900, so we are kind of at 1700, so this is fine. And power lever, but this is for climb, right? Air conditioning ITT is in the green. And cruise, landing lights are off. Okay, pitot heat if needed. No smoking, you can release the passenger. Oxygen is not needed. If you would need oxygen, you have it here, and it's nicely modeled, right? You are getting less and less oxygen, and then you can replenish it in the EFB, like in the other planes from Black Square, right? Inertial separator is no longer required. If there would be icing, you would still keep it on. Okay, nice. And with this, I think we can jump ahead, especially since the view is not so good. Let me just try one of the passenger views. Pretty dramatic terrain here, nice. Although the borders here are not perfect, maybe because we are kind of at a distance here and it's not loading in the highest quality. But this looks really nice. Okay, we have more views set up. Yeah, some views. Okay, let's make it warmer. Look, look, look. I always like this mini game with reaching the correct temperature. Pretty nice. Okay, and this is something that we need to take a look. We need to keep an eye on, because there can be an unbalanced situation, right? It can get imbalanced, and this is also something that I have seen in a real video. So Steve-O1 Kinivo or whatever, so a very known YouTuber that is flying many different planes. I think he was starting out with the Caravan, and there are some videos of him flying the Caravan, and he also got a pretty high imbalance right after the takeoff. So this can happen, and this will also happen here. And in the first video that we had with the Caravan, this has also happened. In the beginning it was very small, but then it was getting higher and higher until we got a pretty serious imbalance. Okay, so this is something unique about this plane that Black Square is simulating here. Okay, so One reason why you might be getting this imbalance is that you are not flying coordinated. Right? If you are not flying coordinated and this is moved to one of the sides, you should be using the rudder trim here, okay, to keep the ball in the middle. Because otherwise, if it will be often to one of the sides, right, because of the P factor and other effects, this will get more and more of an imbalance here. Okay, and I had to do it like on some of my flights. Now it seems to be fine. Okay, so as I promised, I will see you in some time once we have reached some even more dramatic terrain than here. Okay, bye-bye. So guys, welcome back. As you can see, some of the beautiful terrain that I was talking about, lots and lots of detail, and the great thing is that also all of those subtle elevation differences are modeled. So like in those like highest quality ground textures and ground data that we can see, and there will be more regions like this along the way. Here you can see, this is interesting, is it like a dam or something? Seems to be like man-made for sure. Okay, let's take a look at the other side. Oops, maybe not like this. Here also lots of small detail. Looks really unique with how the water flows. Yeah, so in general, when it comes to Australia and flight simming, I didn't really connect those two things much. I never think that this will be really like such an attractive region to fly. And to be honest, like as a person coming from Europe, the only contact that I had with Australia was watching Crocodile Dundee, probably. So this is also pretty interesting for me, discovering all of the information about this continent, right? Very, very nice. You can do an outside view. This might be a little bit louder. Yeah, I really like yellow. Although, to be honest, I still prefer how the Kodiak looks. I think it has the best external model from all of the GA. Although this is obviously also subjective, right? It's not like the Caravan isn't looking great. Okay? And maybe you have seen on my channel, I have started this survey, I guess. So which one do you prefer of those two? Pretty similar planes, I would say. So the Caravan from Black Square or the Kodiak from SWS, and for a time it was pretty close. But now the Caravan is kind of 20% ahead, I think. So thank you for voting. I think it's very interesting because, for example, for me, I was thinking I would be flying the Caravan much more. Also partially because I really like the failures, right? I like knowing that something might go wrong, and this makes me like take it more seriously and monitor of the instruments and stuff. So this is always thinking that the Caravan will be more popular with me. But for some reason, I'm flying the Kodiak more. Okay, so maybe also because the Kodiak has some failures, right? You can still mess up the starter, you can mess up the engine, and so there is some risk involved. And at the same time, there is like more of those like immersive features, right? Like, for example, everything opens in many steps. It's not like enough to just click it once, that you also have lots of different cargo that you can take with you, and it's all modeled. And also that the cargo looks differently depending on how much you load. So this way, like every flight is a little bit different. Plus there are more interior options. I just love the interior option where it's half of the cabin with people and then the other half is with heavy cargo. It's really cool. Here we get only this one with some different interior options when it comes to visually, right? The seats and stuff, but not the whole like the whole interior option, right? Because the other one has the normal commuter, the cargo, the combined one, and I think also the VIP one that I haven't used now. So there is just like more to discover, and because of this, every flight is a little bit different. I'm just taking a look at the terrain here, because as I said, I do have the free version that is lacking this terrain option here. So I cannot highlight the mountains that will be too high, right? And that we would possibly impact with. That saying, for now it seems like we are kind of safe, but this also looks great. Some very, very interesting terrain. Okay, and also here. There will be also like a section that I will jump ahead to, that will have like those very deep canyons, very dramatic and unique looking, that I haven't seen before. So this is also something that I will want to show you. Okay, and for now, as we are together, I can prepare the approach, right? So I want the approach here, RNAV 16, this is the beautiful one, right? And this is the transition here. So this is the one that I want to, we will be joining it like here, I guess. Okay, so seems nice, so load approach and activate, please. And we will be turning a little bit, not much. And take a look at the map. Yep, still some way to go. Okay, so this is not the best, right? You can see those borders here. But it's pretty much everywhere like this, right? That there are parts of the map that are beautiful, and then suddenly you see something that looks very generic. I guess maybe the United States are a little bit different, just because there is like so much data on it, right? That is, I believe, easy to get by a Sogo. Okay, and with this, we will jump ahead to the next part. Okay, see ya. Okay guys, so we are close to the approach, so let's brief the approach. As you can see, the visibility is not great, but we will be landing there, and there the visibility seems to be much better, and I hope we will get some beautiful views. Okay, so this is our approach. We will be joining at Whiskey Oscar 2, so here, we are flying from here. And the problem will be with this one, if the glide path won't work, so the GPS approach, we will have to do it by hand, and this one is a little bit strange because the start of the glide path is kind of between 2 points, so it might be harder to do it manually. And this is also because I have some helpers. I have tuned in the NDB that is at the airport, and you can see it here, and I have also provided like the airport here. And this way I have something along the lines of a DME, despite there being like no radio navigation source, okay? Okay, so let's go down to runway elevation, which is 20 in this case, okay? Let's just arm it, and let's go to approach, okay? And we will see if it will capture the glide path. If not, then we will do it ourselves manually. The glide path should start between those two waypoints, okay? So we will see if this will happen. It looks promising, but you never know. And I hope you have enjoyed the views along the way, okay? So we have pretty strong wind here. I would wish it wouldn't be so bad, but I think we can do it, okay? So let's prepare the plane then. Landing lights, let's seat the passengers, let's prepare the fuel boost pump, let's go full propeller, but let's watch the torque then. Okay, this is fine. And other stuff, I wanted to do something somewhere, okay, but I don't remember. Is it? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. So let's just monitor this here. This seems to be fine, fine. Okay. Seems, oh yeah, I obviously wanted the inertial separator, right? Let's just monitor the temperature. If it won't spike, no, it seems to be fine. Okay, we can take an outside view. Oh, pretty nice. Okay, and we are joining the waypoint. The only thing left is observing if the plane will be able to do it. Okay. Okay. Zero to 3. Okay, so let's change it to 0. Is it? No, 86. Okay. This would be strange. Okay, 85, 86. Nice. And we have some nice sun here. Let's hope the views will be great. A little bit too much clouds. Last time I was here it was less, right? But still, going down the glide path here is pretty impressive. So let's hope that we'll be able to see it. And I do see the vertical navigation here appearing. So in this case, like the path, right? So let's see if this will work out. Okay, this is still here. We have navigation. We have runway elevation. Okay, so this should be fine. I kind of have a bad feeling about this. You will see. And at the very end, at the airport, there will be like a big surprise. It was for sure like a big surprise for me when I saw it. Is this moving? No, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Oh, actually, maybe I wasn't correct, because it's actually, the glide path starts here. It's because they all have a very similar name. And I think I misread it from the chart, so it should be here. So we are still good in this case. And this kind of changes all the time, so let's wait till it settles. But it looks like 156, 157 should be the one that we are aiming for. Okay. So let's just do it once again. It's only like for the cosmetics and for awareness. Doesn't really change anything. And you can see the runway in front of us. Nice. We can do an outside view. Looks pretty nice. Okay, and we can see it has captured it. Okay, so we do have GPS approaches despite the pretty old autopilot. Okay, so let's just reduce the speed. Some additional turbulence here. And let's prepare. So we can do the first notch of flaps, because it's below 175, I believe. Yeah, 175. This will be pretty nice. Okay, so it's holding the path. Nice. It's a pretty interesting mountain. Here you can see the city. And on very short final there will be also some interesting objects. So I hope you will enjoy it. A last check here. No harness that you can like close like in the Kodiak. Okay, so this is a moment where you would wish for the plane to stay on the path, and it seems like it stays there. Okay. So otherwise it might be a very bad day for you. And now you can see the approach. Pretty cool with this cliff here. Okay, so some light and shadow. It's trying to catch it. Okay, we also have the minimums here, which are 580. Okay, radar altitude. So I have also like tuned it in here. We need to watch out with the flaps, because especially the last notch of flaps is pretty powerful, and the autopilot might have a problem of keeping us on the path if we do it too fast. Okay, so second notch of flaps is 150, so we could also do it, but still we have 5 miles out. Okay, very nice. And the NDB here. Yes, I can do the second notch. Okay, and approach speed will be 80-90, and landing speed is 70-75. Okay. No, come on, where's the sun? It was so nice with it. But still, you're pretty impressive. There will be some obstacles here. There's a hill, so I'm kind of afraid to get to the last notch, because then it gets a little bit unstable, especially if there's like strong wind, so I still want to wait. Okay, let me just open this web. And this is the recorder for this TouchFX, whatever. What is it called? TouchdownFX. Okay, let's take a look at our passengers. Okay, they seem to trust us. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so we are getting a little bit low, I think. Yeah, it seems to be doing a good job, so this is nice. And I think we will just take over after those power lines here. There is a lot of those. Okay, let's reduce the speed a little bit. And I can already see we are strongly crabbing here, minimums, and this yellow light. We are still on the path, so we are not running into this mountain, I hope. Yeah, lots of detail here, pretty nice. Okay. We are on the path, despite what this is showing. Here we have some turbulence from this mountain, this hill. So let's just take over. And let's go last notch of flaps. Whoa, 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 that's realistic turbulence, okay. 18-19. Okay, but I think we are fine. A bit too low, maybe. guess it was okay-ish. Yeah, as you can see, this is the module. And it is a little bit distracting, right? Especially since at this stage of the landing you might still fight to keep control over the plane, right? So it's your choice if you want to also install this module, or if you just want to have it in the Windows, in Windows, right? And just to take a look at it later. Okay. Okay, so landing lights, strobe light. And this is this awesome custom free airport here. And let me just reduce it by one step. Okay, nice. So transponder off, radar off. Okay. And we are fine, and we don't need the pump. So let's just park here and I will show you the details of this airport. We can open the window. And some pretty nice detail on this one. I think in this case we can park here. Okay, like this with this nice view here. Okay, so now we can close the window, it's a little bit too loud. And let's just do the checklist. Okay. Here, here, here. Okay. So, after landing, flaps retracted, pitot heat was not on, strobe lights are here and are off, taxi light is no longer needed, landing lights off, condition lever low idle, inertial separator no longer needed. Okay. Shutdown, avionics can go to off, standby alternator to off, fuel boost pump to off. Okay, heating, yes, let's put it to off. Propeller goes to feather, we are still in beta, so let's move it to idle. Let's make sure the ITT will be stable. Okay, this seems fine. And condition lever off. First, let's do a nice view from the outside. So we will be able to listen to it when it turns off. Okay. Oops, whoops, whoops. Okay, not bad, not bad. So let's go back inside. Let's get rid of the remaining lights. Okay, and let's release the passengers. Okay. Oxygen off was not on, and inertial separator is like this one. And for now we will keep the battery. Okay. So let's just go outside. Can I click somewhere here to leave the plane? No. Okay. So let's do it like this one. Okay. Let's get rid of the invisible baggage. We can put this back on. We can put those on. Okay, and now let me show you the airport. Oh, this looks really nice. Okay, so let's get back in. get the drone camera, and something very interesting. This is actually like a historical society here that has received this Qantas 747 as a donation. Okay. For a time, I think it was missing engines because the Qantas needed them for something else, but now they are back. There is a whole story related to it. And here you can see the aircraft museum. And everything is in MSFS, free of charge since World Update 7. Okay, so make sure you have World Update 7 installed or like streaming. How cool is this one? Wow, really great. Okay, guys. And with this, thank you for following my flight. It's great that Black Square. Ooh, there's the interior model. So let's just, okay, but you cannot go outside. Still. Okay, so even more detail here. Very, very nice. Okay, I think I will be flying more to this one. Okay, still, let's take a look at our plane. Also looks great. So I hope it was interesting and great that we have received this patch. This plane is now almost like perfect. I also think this TouchdownFX module is really great. Even if you don't want to have it like appear after the landing, you still get all of the data later, which is perfect for me. Delivery is great, and I also really like this mod that shows you the passengers, and everything will be in the description. Okay, so I hope this was interesting, I hope this was entertaining, and that maybe some of you will start to fly in Australia if you haven't already, because as you can see, the terrain is great, the custom assets that you get for free are great, and there's lots of those. So I myself will for sure come back here and do some additional videos. Okay, and with this, thank you very much for watching, and see you in future GA flying videos. Bye bye.